Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
You should be focusing on cash flow. Cash flow is the money left behind after all expenses are paid. It's that money that hits your bank account. It's that money that is available for reinvesting, for spending, for using. And we've got to ask ourselves, are we ready? And when I say, are we ready, I'm talking about, are you ready to identify cash flow and take advantage of the opportunities that are coming into our market? Because our market is changing. We're coming out of a cycle that's peaked. And when we get off of these mountaintops back into the valleys, these are the opportunities because everything is on sale. And the money, the true wealth is made when a market becomes on sale. We saw this happen in 2007, 2008 with the real estate market when it crashed, flooded a market with foreclosures. Everything went on discount, and the people that were ready, that understood cash flow, that understood what a good buy was. And you didn't have to be a highly intelligent real estate investor. You just had to have money, and you needed to be bankable because banking became very hard and restricted when everything hit the fan and real estate went on discount. The same thing's about to happen, not particularly with real estate, but in general. As the marketplace begins to tighten and interest rates rise, you're going to see things start to be discounted because it's harder for people to be able to purchase. So what is the low-hanging fruit right now? It's cash flow found from businesses because we have a generation of baby boomers that are retiring and ready to exit their business. And these businesses are small enough that institutional money is not interested in them. But folks like me and you that are willing to go in as an operator, that are willing to partner with operators, and operators that are willing to partner with investors that have money, are able to go in and find these mom and pops, these $1 million to $5 million companies that have been established 10 plus years, have employees, have a good name in the marketplace, have cash flow to purchase, and we're able to go in and purchase these at a discounted rate because nobody else is asking for them. It's the supply and demand factor. When everybody's hot on it and wants it, the prices go up. When nobody's considering it because they're scared of what the economy is going to do, the prices go down. When the market is flooded and you can choose whatever you want and nobody's fighting for anything, the sellers have to drop prices. Do you get why this is the time to seize? Real estate opportunity was in '08. Business purchases, acquisitions is right now. So what are you doing to get ready for this? Do you understand how to purchase cash flow? Do you know how to underwrite a business, what to look for? Do you know what you should be paying for a business, and is it a healthy business with an opportunity zone for you to move through? So I looked up just hopped on, I'm out of Mississippi, so I hopped on bizbuysell.com and I found this business that's an insurance company, home and property. Most of it was residential, and I think it was 23% was commercial policies that they have out. It's a multi-location, Alabama, Mississippi, and their gross net revenue was $1.6 million. Their cash flow was stated at $703,000, almost $704,000. Cash flow, that's what's left over after everything's been paid. Okay? That's a substantial amount of cash flow. Would that cash flow change your life if you were able to step into it? Now, that cash flow is a 42% profit margin based off their gross revenue, looking at the numbers that were posted on this listing. I didn't see a profit and loss, and I didn't see a balance sheet, so I don't know what all's going on there. I do understand that it was an independent insurance agency with multiple locations. I'm not familiar with the insurance, but what my goal is to say, how do you look at the numbers and underwrite the numbers without having to know the skill set or the technology behind the business? So we're looking at the gross revenue of 1.6. We've got a $704,000 cash flow, and they're wanting a purchase price of $4.5 million. So is that a good deal or is that bad deal? Is that overpaying or is that underpaying? So the way you figure that out is you need to decide, well, what kind of multiple are they asking off for their cash flow? Because when you go to buy a business or sell a business, you're looking at your EBITDA, your net profit, and you are stating a multiple behind that net profit to figure out what your purchase price is going to be. So if I've got $700,000 in net profit and cash flow, and I want to sell my business for $2.1 million, that means I've got a 3x multiple. That means it's going to take me 3 years if I bought this in cash and used all of the cash flow to pay off this business. And this is what you've got to consider. First off is, are they realistic in their pricing? Now, this is a business model of monthly reoccurring revenue because you sell this policy and this policy pays you out of the premiums monthly. So this is a more desirable business, and this business will demand a higher multiple compared to other businesses that carpet cleaning. You sit there and you go and clean a person's carpet once a year, at best twice, and that's more of a kill and eat. It's not a monthly reoccurring revenue unless you figure out a way to put in a service plan to where you can get money coming in monthly or quarterly or every other month. When you can have consistent money rolling into a business, there is confidence gained and you can project your income better. Therefore, it's a more desirable business model. And more people would be interested because it feels safer because you can project what your earnings are going to be next month. It's not based off how aggressive your sales team is. So that's probably why it's got a 6x multiple, but I feel like that's a little expensive. That's not something that I would pay. I would definitely want to negotiate that down and get closer to a 4 multiple. I'd feel more comfortable with that, but that's me. And that's why it's so great because it's like Baskin Robbins. I think it's 31 flavors or whatever. There's a flavor for everyone, but we still want to make sure the fundamentals are there. So you should be looking at trying to buy cash flow that can pay itself off. A business that can pay itself off. So I broke this down just a little bit and I said, okay, let's say that we buy this business as it's listed for $4.5 million and we need a 20% down payment because we went with the SBA loan. And that down payment of $900,000, 20% of the 4.5 is $900,000. That $900,000 I negotiated with the seller for him to do a seller carryback on that, which just simply means that he's going to finance the down payment for me. So he's going to bring the down payment to the closing table, and he is going to finance that at 6% interest for a 10-year period. And that's going to cost me $119,000, almost $120,000 for the year. So I got $120,000 for the 20% down payment annually that it's costing me. Then I've got left, I have to finance the other $3.6 million. So that $3.6 million, if let's just say I go to the SBA and they're going to charge me an 8% interest, a 10-year period. So that's going to cost me $524,000, where a total right now at 100% financing on this deal is going to be $644,000. Because I had my down payment that my seller financed to me at 6%, which was almost $120,000. And then I had my SBA loan of the 80% of the purchase price, which was roughly $524,000 at $644,000. So remember, I've got a cash flow, it states in this listing, of $703,000. So if I take $703,000 and subtract my annual note of 100% financing at $644,000, that's going to leave me with almost $60,000 in leftover net cash flow. I'm going to assume that there was a salary built in for the owner of this insurance agency already. So let's just say that agent's salary is $150,000. So he's got $150,000. Then there's $60,000 left over after this is paid for. You walk into a business with $150,000, an established team over, I think this was a 20-plus-year-old business that's proven itself in growth from 15 to 20% growth every single year over the last couple of decades. It's got a cash flow that's paying for the 100% financing of this purchase price. You've got a salary that you walk into after you purchase this of $150,000, and you're still left over with $60,000. So you got $210,000 that you are making a year after buying this, and you didn't have to come a dollar out of pocket, and it pays for itself over the next 10 years. Is it a deal? You have to ask yourself. This is why I said, are you ready to understand cash flow? Do you know how to underwrite and break the numbers down? Because there's going to be opportunity out there. And there's opportunity if you say, Chris, I don't have that kind of money. But if you can get educated and you can learn how to underwrite these deals, then you could wholesale these deals to other individuals that are looking to purchase these businesses and take a middleman cut. What if you could wholesale a business for $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 because you found a good enough deal because you knew how to underwrite a business acquisition? Get yourself into the game. Get yourself ready. If you don't know anything about this and everything just flew over your head, then I want you to go to the Facebook group Blue Collar Millionaire. Me and Kevin Marin and Mark Evans DM sit and do live interviews every Tuesday at 11 Eastern with other business entrepreneurs that are doing this right here, that they've done startups and they've decided it's not the best way. They've purchased businesses and understood that it's better to purchase cash flow. They buy other businesses to bolt onto their current business so that it can vertically integrate itself and scale. And then they take it to the market and they sell it to institutional money, hedge funds, private equity groups, these individuals that have institutional money, and they get a massive uptick in finances. What if you bought this for 4.5 and then you was able to double the cash flow and you could take it to market and sell it for a little over 2 million, 10 million? Imagine that. You sat there and ate off of the cash flow. You scaled it by doing some marketing and adding some virtual assistants to close these that are much cheaper than American personnel. And I'm an advocate for American made and advocate for all of that. So don't get upset that I made that comment. But when you can find somebody that works harder for cheaper, then why would you not hire that individual? And that's what you find with virtual assistants majority of the time. And you sit there and you hire these virtual assistants to work these computers because this is a remote position type of business. You scale it and you take it to the market, and then you make you a cool $6 million 3 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later. This is why you need to be paying attention to business acquisitions right now. Start looking at P&L, start looking at balance sheets, start getting on these brokerages sites and see what the listing is and see what the lingo is. Plug in the Blue Collar Millionaire Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group where we do interviews. If you really want to dive in, you can hop into our private group that's paid. It costs a little money, and it's called the War Room. And we do weekly calls. We do deal dives. And we have resources. We have your attorneys. We have your private money. We have deal flow. We've got underwriters. We've got all different type of resources to package it together to make your process easier and faster and set you up for a win. Until next time, I want you guys to live in success. I hope to see you on the Blue Collar Millionaire Facebook page.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.